Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everybody. How we doing? Hopefully everybody is doing well at the start of this week. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Oh, which way? And don't forget to, why is that? The mirror thing, the mirror wings get me. Don't forget to support the show, y'all. I don't like it when it's like that. This is not going right. I don't like that. It's not doing what I wanted to do. I hate that when it happens. But I don't like it like this. I'm just going to deal with it. Whatever. I'm going to circle back probably Wednesday. I don't know when. Let me not even put I'm not even going to put a time on it. Because some of the comments, not all of them, most of the comments, some of the comments that I got from the last show when I was talking about all of these things that's going on in the society, I had just a minority of comments, but they irked my soul, of comments that were pretty much like, oh, the only ones gonna have a problem in the upcoming issues as society crumbles is going to be the women. The men are going to be okay. No, y'all not. But that's not what today's show is about. But it irked my soul, and I'm going to get around to it. Thank you so much. I can't promise that I'll be like open up the panel, because I don't really like hosting panels. I say that specifically. But I'm definitely gonna start talking more about those types of topics, because they need to be spoken on desperately. It irked my soul. I almost changed the topic today to that. I'm gonna get enough of not speaking on the stuff that the spirit tell me to speak on. I'm gonna get enough of that. Because there are times when I second guess whether or not I should circle back to a topic. I'm like, I don't know. My subscribership might not want to hear that from me all the time. But I'm going to get enough of doing that. At some point, I'm going to get enough of doing that. But there be a lot of stuff on my mind. I almost said that this live stream was just going to be a mishmash of stuff that be on my mind, because things be on my mind like in a lot of things at once. I actually appreciate that you're saying that you like when I get into that bag, because I'm very transparent, because it's obvious that I am not some type of political pundit. I'm not particularly aware of everything that's going on in terms of geopolitics and whose policies are doing what, and I'm not astute in that manner. So I appreciate that encouragement. I shy away from certain topics that have to do with politics for that reason. But I also don't speak about politics from that standpoint of any particular political party or anything like that. I'd be more so speaking on it from almost an esoteric or spiritual side to the practical things that we see. So I appreciate that encouragement. That actually gives me some encouragement that, about speaking on those topics. So I appreciate you, Black Anglo, um, and for the rest of you who also are supportive when I speak like that. But this topic today also kind of struck me on a different tune. And I also am going to incorporate something that I just saw literally like 10 minutes ago. Y'all know Yada Awakening and his wife have announced a split. I don't want to dedicate a whole show to that, so I'm likely going to put it in this show because at some point I wanted to talk about that documentary on domestic violence that this lady did. It's like a free documentary on YouTube, and I wanted to kind of touch that too, but I was thinking about touching that like in a membership content. He looked like some, and he looked like somebody that whoop on you. I don't trust no man that call women queens and stuff. I don't trust that. That's a red flag to me. A man that constantly, oh, women are queens and women can't do no wrong. Them be the dirtiest ones. Them be the dirtiest ones. That's such a red flag to me. I be instantly turned off. Instantly. Don't even say that. Queen, who a queen? Who, what you talking about? What is you talking about? That's an instant red flag to me. You automatically trying to manipulate me. Miss Goldie, I'm glad a lady said, where you at? I'm glad a lady said that. Cause the men, listen, don't be a queen. Well, who, what? Well, who you talking to? I don't like no man say that. Them be the dirtiest men. The dirtiest men be the ones always talking about, oh, women this, all y'all can't do, and women is just so wonderful. And I ain't saying that good women are not wonderful. We are, but don't put too much on it. You putting too much stank on it. Now I don't trust it. Now I don't trust it because you're doing too much. You're doing too much to it at this point. But I'm gonna cut to the chase. This is actually a clip from the Lapeef show. Shout out to the Lapeef. Y'all don't forget to support the channel and support the content. Hit the like buttons. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So the clip itself was like 20 minutes long. I'm not even going to start from the beginning of the clip. I'm going to start from like the middle of the clip. And the reason why we're going to start right there, right. The reason why we're going to start right there is because the time of the pandering is over. We done. From pandering from both sides. We done with the men and the women trying to pander. Because if you don't believe what you talking about, it's time to hush your mouth, because you are contributing to the gender war as well. Negatively. You are negatively contributing to the gender war. You are consistently muddying the waters and making things more difficult than what you need to do. This is why chameleons, panderers, panda bears, all of that, we not doing that no more. We done with that. We done. Nah, I don't like it. Because it be disingenuous. Especially a man that don't know me. How you know I'm a queen? You know I'm a queen from where? Because I promise you, I don't think every man no king. I promise you that. I think people are people. That's what I think. And through word and deed, you get to show who you are and what you about and what you be thinking about and what be going on with you. That's how I see. I approach people as people. Neither good nor bad. I don't have a preconceived bad or preconceived good. You know, when I see men out and about in the world, you know, I give them the respect of one human being to another. Whether I actually interact with them or not, you know, I don't go nowhere being disrespectful and, you know, and doing all kind of crazy stuff and being crazy. So I go and come in peace. I ain't agitating nobody and antagonizing nobody. Thank you so much for supporting. Frederick got 2 jewels. I appreciate you.
The reason why I disagree is because that's the part of finding a good leader. So once you found a good leader and you have made that decision that you're going to submit under his leadership, then however he leads should be okay. So if he's not coming in and checking with you every step of the way, he has a reason for it. As a leader of my household, I know how sometimes things can be so stressful, especially when you're making major decisions, and to have someone always come in and want a reassurance, to want to feel comfortable, and want to ask questions, and want to know, it's just like,
it's just like, shut the fuck
work
up.
it through. I promise. Like,
I
just
get
give me
that.
a second. I got it. So as a leader, you shouldn't have to always check in if the person that you're with trusts your decision making. And then I was going to make a comment earlier when you guys were talking about, well, it depends on if it's a major situation or what if it didn't work out and, you know, affected our life. You're still under his leadership. So I'm still going to support you, babe. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to work it out. We're going to figure a way. I know you got this because I know I chose a good leader that makes great decisions. He just had a bad decision this time. He's human. It happens. Even if it was a big thing and now we got to figure out where we're about to leave, we're going to figure it out. I got you. We're going to figure it out. What you need me to do? Do you need me to do something in this part? So I think that it's all about supporting and knowing when to fall back and letting that leader lead and make those decisions. If he feel like it's time to communicate and let you know what's going on, then he would do that. That's a part of being a good leader.
I'm going to pause it right there. On the surface, that sounds pretty good. You know, it might have been an echo because I forgot that when I share stuff, I need to mute. Or I don't know if he muted or not. But, so I'm sorry if it was an echo if y'all heard one. But on the surface, that sounds just fine. If you chose a man to lead, then everything he do, you should just shut up and don't have a question, don't have a thought about it, don't have a concern over it, don't have anything that you could possibly think about whatever he do, whatever he say. It should just go because you married him. On the surface, that might seem like a good idea, but that's not. Spoken like a person that don't understand followership. Spoken like a person that doesn't understand followership. In practice, in the practical day-to-day movement within a healthy working marriage where the man has assumed leadership within that marriage and the woman has assumed followership in that marriage. Sound like she's saying what you ought to be saying, only it don't make no dang sense. I'm going to tell you why it don't make no sense. I am so tired of the dynamic of leadership and followership being, since I'm the leader, I get to make all these decisions that directly affect you. Although I have no obligation to say nothing to you, make you aware of nothing, it always go into this extreme about why should he have to check with you every little thing, every little day, nobody said that. Nobody said that. But followers have actions. See, when I am in my followership with my leader, I have marching orders to execute. I have to execute something. Followership is not me with my head down, not knowing nothing that's going on around me, being completely oblivious, and just, he'll be all right, he gonna make the right decision, because what if he don't? And this is not an indictment on whether or not he can lead. That's not an indictment. Like she said, he a human being, and he can make errors in his judgment. He is not infallible. Being a leader don't make you infallible. It puts you in a position to where there is not only authority but responsibility. So if you take a L, everybody behind you took a L, and you have to understand that and work with that. So as a follower, I have things that I have to execute. That's what a helpmate actually is. I execute certain things. I can't execute marching orders if I don't know what's going on, or if I don't have a decent concept and understanding about the overall thing that we're facing as a couple. Because we're facing it together, right? Right. Foolishness happen in secret. where there's no communication. Me and my husband was talking about that today. When there's no communication between the husband and the wife, or the communication is really bad, that is where Shaitan gets in there and make problems between the two. He give everybody what they should be thinking instead of understanding through the communication with the direct person. So if my husband or us as a couple start to face a difficult challenge, a difficult time, there's some challenges. Anything can happen. Somebody got sick. Somebody lost their income. Somebody, whatever. It could be anything. Fill in the blank. It is not costly to his leadership for him to come and say, especially if it's something that can't be hidden anyway. Listen, babe, this is what's going on. This is why it's going on. After we have that little conversation, now, this is what I need from you in these moments. And not leave me up to assume and think all kinds of weird thoughts instead of leaving it up to me to try to, oh, it's this and it's that, and I be wrong. Give me clear communication as well as clear marching orders. What should we be doing right now? What kind of support do you need from me in this moment? So in order to execute, I got to understand the problem that we are trying to solve. Now, after I get those marching orders, I'm talking about a woman who's in her followership. After I get those marching orders, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to come back every day, every other day, every 10 minutes, trying to have this conversation or needing reassurance or quote unquote trying to make you check in with me. Oh, that's stupid. I can't do what I gotta do in this situation. If I'm studying, gotta come back and talk to you. What was the point of the conversation with the marching orders and the prescription about how we gonna solve it if I'm studying worried about coming back and forth? Well, baby, did you do this? Baby, did you do that? Because don't nobody want to be micromanaged. Okay, we already had the conversation. What is we doing? So this is why I'm saying it's spoken like somebody that don't do followership, because no lioness that's submissive in her relationship, that have a working relationship with her husband, is constantly going back and forth to him to ask him every 3 seconds about what he is doing and what he is not doing. Because for the most part, you're going to be able to see what he doing, because the results is either going to come or they not. And if he has given a timeline and things go well beyond that timeline, I would think that he would have another conversation, that he would expect some type of check-in with, baby, you know what I'm saying, is and any other help that you need, because I see that this thing didn't quite work in this particular timeline, and that's okay. But, you know, maybe it take longer than we thought it was going to take in order to do this, that, and the third. Having a question about what we're doing and how we supposed to get through things and how we supposed to get through challenges and what's going to be my role in actually helping us out of a bad situation or whatever the case may be, that's not a question of mistrust. Those are not mistrustful conversations. Those are conversations for clarity. Because listen, let me tell you something. You're going to get a question. Especially from me. You're going to get a question. You ain't going to get an interrogation, but you will get a question. And I'm going to put it as nicely and beautifully as I possibly can, but you're going to get a question. You know why you're going to get a question? Because God get questions. The prophets asked God stuff. Yes, they did. The prophets, and these are men who God had to actually come speak to and talk to and send his angels to, had all the proof in the world that God was real. And everything that he was talking about was real. And a prophet will come up with a question. Well, God, one little, can I just, okay. The Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between get a question. And will answer it. Not only will he receive a question, he will deliver an answer. Get your answer. Bible got answers in it. Quran got answers in it. It's got answers in there. Questions was posed and answers was given. So you gonna get a question from me. Because if the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between, who is indeed infallible and don't make no errors or mistake, and get a question, you running red blood, sweaty, sometimes you get so sweaty that your ball meat stick to the inside of your thigh, you getting a question. You getting a question. You could get a question. You will survive a question. You could get a question. You absolutely can get a question. You could get a question. Now, the thing about it is, are these questions based in mistrust? Or are these simply questions to get clarity on things and just a general understanding about what's going on? This is why I'm talking about the fake followership. We're going to continue.
I understand what you're saying. However, I'm going to relate that back to what Real Dope Daddy was speaking of before, where he was like, sometimes my children have questions and I answer them and I give them the whys. So it's like, I don't think you giving me a why or giving me an answer to one of my questions is going to negate you being a good leader. And it's not the fact, if I have questions, why can't you answer it if you're such a great leader?
One of them is fine.
It's not that.
No, true. You got it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you guys are just giving us men the reassurance that we should just leave y'all alone. Because
I mean, y'all can, but I just don't understand why you can't answer a question. Like, if my son is telling me, if I'm telling my son, don't run into the street,
the problem is,
and he says, Mom, why can't I run into the street? And I say to him, babe, I don't think that's safe. Like, you could get hit by a car.
The problem is you're not a child, and your child did not choose you. So you chose this man to be a leader. So you should be able to follow his leadership. So you shouldn't be nagging or asking questions every second or every moment because I want to feel comfortable. I want to be clarity. If this man is taking that leadership role to take the burden off of you, then allow him to take that burden off of you so you won't have to worry about every step, every decision maker, everything that he's doing. Let him follow through with that. And once he get, time or feel like, okay, this is a good time to communicate what I've been doing, he will do that. But let him do that instead of us keep on, well, what's going on with this? Did you handle that? Or he don't need all that pressure because he's already taken the pressure off of you. And that's a load on him within himself. Let him work it out and deal with it the way he work it out and deal with it. There's no problem with us just sitting back and just allowing a man be a man if that's what we're asking for.
Paris, so how did you choose your last leader? Because you said we women choose. How did you specifically? How did you choose your last leader?
This way it started getting real interesting. Do we believe what we talking about? Do we live or have we lived what we're talking about? Or have we lived in such a way where this was the lesson I got out of doing the wrong thing, so this over here must be the right thing to do because I didn't work out because I did the wrong thing. I'm tired of these chameleons, I swear to you. I swear to you. Because we not doing this. I promise you we not. We got to do a commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back. Because we need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the chat. If you want to keep your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, this body butter is for you. It is definite. It's a really good creamy. It's not tacky. It's not greasy. This is a body butter that works really well. It soaks immediately into your skin, and it actually does keep your skin moisturized for a very long time. And the scent is not so heavy that it would bother you and not so light that you can't smell it. It's actually a really balanced blend. I like this body butter personally myself, and most of the people who have actually purchased it, I have not seen a bad review yet. So you definitely want to order it. And if this is your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout.
Right here is official. Never really saw anything like this before. How do you know when you're doing a proper push up? You gotta go all the way down, chest touching the floor, coming back up full extension. But now that you told me how to do it, now how you know when you're doing it? You don't know, and you won't know unless you have what it is. Nah, that was fine. That was fine. Make sure it keeps you accountable. Accountability is everything. So
incredible. You can't cheat.
great.
Go all the way down and all the way up, and that's one solid rep. Good money.
That's it. It's no arguing, no debating, no questioning. All the way down, all the way up. You got to start and finish the same way. She got my shit. I'm
fucking crib right now.
All right, the link is pinned to the chat, theproperpush.com/VIP in order to unlock your VIP exclusive offer and to show your support for us bringing the proper push to you and bringing this to market. All you have to do is click the link in the chat and verify your email. Once you do so, you'll be given a reservation invitation in your inbox, and check your junk and spam if you don't see it, because you definitely got it sent to you. In order to get the best discount once we begin to bring the proper push to the market, you'll be getting 20% off of the proper push when it's ready to launch, exclusive proper push merchandise, instant alerts when our Kickstarter goes live, because we're going to be doing a Kickstarter in order to launch the product, and also first access to early bird Kickstarter rewards and limited deals. Let me get to the super chats. L. Nick said, my beautiful Johnson & Johnson, page 42, Jet Beauty of the Week, milk chocolate, original queen. Not put too much sauce on it. That's crazy. Thank you, Elder Ben, for 30 jewels. I appreciate the support. Thank you, Pharaoh. Hey, Pharaoh, Walaikum Assalam. How you doing, good brother? Hope you doing well. And Thanos said, let me get the hyena creed. You shall get it. Here we go.
I said, as long as you got your own house, as long as you got your own transportation, and as long as you got your own income, it don't matter what a ninja got to say.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get back to it because they asked her, since she's saying that, what was up with your last relationship and basically why didn't it last? Since you chose him and everything that he say was supposed to go, right? Don't ask no questions. You weren't supposed to ask no questions. So what was happening?
Whoever that was, how'd you choose him?
Didn't she already say something about not wanting a leader?
No, please. I feel like it's a valid
answer my question. How did you pick? Because you said, and I quote, once you find you a good leader. So how did you choose, or how do you choose your good leader? Like, because I gotta listen. You gotta listen, right? So you've been listening nonstop to the last.
Bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta I forget. Thank you so much for reminding me.
Men you've had, right? Because they've been leaders. You just listen all the time. How'd you choose to listen?
So the last leader I was with, and I'm trying to honestly answer that question because my last relationship, I just fell in that relationship. He happens to be a good leader and a provider. I just kind of fell in it. So the actual relationship before that,
you just fell into that last relationship. This is Miss Listen and We Don't Judge.
I was engaged and he was a leader of our church. So I seen the way he moved, how he conducted himself, how he took certain roles, how he moved, and we were actually friends way before we actually start dating. I had to actually mentally get out of that friendship mind and look at him a little bit differently, but I got to see how he handled his.
So this was a man that was in your friend zone? Did we hear that properly? She said she had to stop thinking about him as a friend and start thinking about him a little differently. So this was a man that you got out of the friend zone that apparently you were not attracted to very much. He had good qualities, but you know, he didn't look how you wanted him to look. Let's call a thing a thing. Cause I'm tired. Huh? She picking them words too, but it don't help. It don't help. Picking them words not about to help you because we got ears over here. And more importantly, we have discernment over here. So picking them words just make me listen harder because you picking words.
Life and his obstacles, and also take on certain roles within our church and how he maneuvered and handled those as well. So he definitely was a good leader.
But y'all not together.
Right. So why did the relationship end?
Right.
Wait.
Well, the relationship
ain't about
ended.
Paris.
The relationship.
Hold on, True.
You don't know.
Don't filibuster. You said you want women to hold other women accountable, right? So don't filibuster it just because she said something to stroke your ego a couple minutes ago. We asking questions. Don't get in your bag.
Good leader.
I don't want to.
Wait. It's fair.
I
If
don't
she's
have a
going to
problem
answer it,
answering.
if she don't want to answer, she don't got it. She gonna tell you no. Let her go. Let her go.
It's not about Perry.
I don't have a problem. It was because of me, because I was in the church and I didn't want to shack up. So we went to the courthouse to get married. We did our certificate, all that. But when it came down to doing our vows and all that, we had to rearrange certain things. And I felt like he was stalling. So I just picked up and left and moved while he was at work. He didn't even know I left.
What?
Did you hear that? He wasn't moving fast enough. So Miss Listen said, I know better. So let me just leave. And left him in such a way, she just said, as to where he didn't even know what hit him. He did not know that she was even gonna leave. He just came back and she was gone. And because they was quote unquote in the church and she didn't want to shack up. Now they had done went down to the courthouse, she said. So now if you have gone down to the courthouse in order to get this marriage certificate, then you are married, ma'am, according to you. According to y'all, you married. So, and what's shacking up? Because you didn't have the spiritual, you didn't have basically the wedding in the church and stuff. So I guess she felt like they weren't really married up. Well, however she felt. So basically she said he was dragging his feet and I pulled the trigger and made an executive decision. Miss Listen said that. Miss Listen to whatever he said and everything that he say go. And it don't matter whether you understand what he said or not. It don't matter whether you understood his line of reasoning or not. Just go with the flow because you chose him. And here we are. Because it doesn't work like that. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Literally nobody that is in any kind of followership position does that. Heard you loud and clear.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
We don't find that suspicious? We're not suspicious?
Let that man leave. Let that man leave. It was a reason he was taking his time.
Right, but that was where I was at, mentally when I was with him at that time. I was highly in church, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sin and shack up with you. I moved in because we were making this move, but now that you're dragging your feet on this move, then I'm not gonna stay in this position. So that's why I left. But
my only question is, and I'm only asked. Let me say this, y'all. I only asked that because parents are saying, we gotta listen, we gotta listen, we gotta listen. When he say do this, we gotta listen, so I'm only asking because maybe I just need to listen more. So I'm trying to see what you did that I don't do so I can learn. That's the only why I asked.
No, my question is just at what point did that leadership at what point did you decide he's not entitled to just you blindly following and you having that autonomy to, you know, kind of practice a little bit of discernment and decide, hey, I don't think he's making the right choices for me? Because at some point, I think like when we have
It
these
wasn't
conversations,
that he wasn't just making the right choices for me, but I actually was in a church at the time, heavy, because I was a leader of my church as well. So my pastor was my spiritual dad. So not only that, I was listening to them as well. So I had the pressure of them and us shacking up and being leaders of the church and how that looks. So that's when I took myself
are you saying
out
you
of the
regret?
equation.
Are you saying you regret that decision to not continue with that relationship, or was that like the right decision to make?
Was it an emotional decision?
And there you have your answer. That's why I said I'm tired of the pandering and the chameleon activity. You just sat there and smiled. Girl, if you don't get off our phone with that foolishness, tired of y'all. Y'all grifting. You get on the internet and you say whatever you think that the men want to hear. Meanwhile, you do not do any of that to any capacity. You made an executive decision based on apparently from what you said, what other people were saying to you and how you thought it looked and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So you pulled the trigger, did you not? This was a man that you all had already went down to the courthouse to get married to. So what was the pastor talking about? Shacking up. If you went to the courthouse to get the marriage certificate signed and all that good stuff, you went down to the justice of the peace to get the piece of paper. Every church, every Christian church I know of in this country, for the vast majority, it might be a minority, a outlier church, will recognize the legal marriage certificate as a marriage. Am I lying? I don't know no church that don't recognize that. So you either lying about going down there to the courthouse to get that paper, or you went to get the paper but you didn't see that as a married girl. What? What? Don't know what leadership and followership actually look like. You just getting on the internet saying anything. Just listen and don't say nothing about no leadership. Followership don't work like that. Followership does not work like that. There is nobody that's in no type of following position that think like that. That's going to go off a cliff. I told you God get questions from his followers, from his faithful followers. Men who are in followership position do not think like that. If he is at a job and he do his job how he always done did his job, then all of a sudden the boss come in there and tell him to do some foolishness that don't make not damn bit of sense to him as to why he should have to do this. You best believe he gonna question that. You may write my paychecks, but we might have to pivot all the way around. Because what did you ask me to do? And why? When he called that man, go into that team meeting, and that manager or team leader or whoever it is, executive or whoever it is that's over him, get to talking talking that flim flam and it sound crazy. And all they said was you gonna get more work, but we ain't gonna pay you no more. Your title ain't gonna change. You know, we just want you to do all this extra work, but we ain't gonna pay you and we ain't gonna recognize you and we ain't gonna, matter of fact, we might even demote you a little bit, and then we still gonna get this work, all this work again. He gonna look at them real cockeyed. What? Now what you say now? He not gonna care about where them paychecks coming from, because you're not gonna be able to talk too stupid to him. You're not, because he gonna start weighing it. Do I really need this job? What is gonna happen if I crash out right now at this job? If I quit, then what? Am I lying, men? Am I lying about when I'm talking about when men are in followership position? I'm using work as an example. And your boss getting way too crazy. Way too crazy. Way too crazy. You know, a little bit here and there you can tolerate. But excuse me, you're not gonna get to do too much now, because I will go home. So don't get too out of context with me. Right. So nobody in a followership position ever really think that there is no situation where the so-called leader can't be questioned. Nobody thinks that. So similarly, if you have a wife who is in her proper followership position, her discernment still gotta work. She don't get to shut it off. Okay? She doesn't get to shut that off. Y'all too busy wanting to get into a relationship where you can shut off. There's no such thing as that. You have to work, whether that's mental work, physical work, spiritual work. You gotta work in a marriage. Marriages are work. You never heard of that? Marriages is work. There is work to be done. Plenty work to be done. Because even if you are going through something with your husband, y'all going through a thing together, right? It's a whatever going on. Even if there is no physical thing that he needs you to do to help him, maybe it's not even no physical way for you to help him. He really do have to figure it out. You know what you do as a woman? You know what your work is then? When there is no physical, practical thing that you can do to actually help your husband in a sticky situation, do you know what you are supposed to do? Do the women in here know? I know I might not have a whole lot of females in here, but do you know the answer? Do you know the answer? What you supposed to be doing? They don't know. My good sis know. Make dua. Assalamu alaikum, sweetheart. My good sis know. Pray. Start praying. Start spiritually anchoring the situation. That's what you're supposed to be doing. A lot of women don't get that's your job. That's your job. Cook cooking, cleaning, and changing diapers is not your job. That is 101. That is not the totality of being no wife. That's 101. Your job is to spiritually anchor what's going on, because he needs your energetic and spiritual support. He needs you to lay down, as the old folks say, he needs you to send some timber up. He needs you to send him up some timber. That's what he needs. That's what he needs. When it ain't no practical work for you to be doing, now you need to send up some timber for him. Ya Allah, help my husband. Give him the clarity and the focus and the resources that he needs. Open up a way for him to know what he has to do. Give him the answers to the test. Give him the answer and make it easy on him. Help him. You makes a way out of no way. I don't know the answer, but you know the answer. Help us both in this situation and keep us together and keep our hearts pure and keep our deeds good. Bless the work of his hands and bless the work of his mind. Send some timber up for him. You got to go. You got to start praying. Not sitting around worrying about it. Not sitting around pulling your hair out about it. Not sitting around trying to figure out your exit plan. Not trying to figure out, well, did I marry the white one? He ain't got no money. Stop doing all that. That ain't nothing but shaitan. You got to get down on your knees and pray. Go before your Lord and beseech. Allah says, seek Allah's help with patience and prayer. You got the bell challenge with patience. Patience. Not worrying him every 5 minutes. Not giving him an attitude in the house because it ain't going the way you thought it was going to go. Y'all just want to sit around and worry about it. Talk to you, gossip to your girlfriends about your man and what he is and ain't doing. Cry to your mama so she can give you some bad advice about your husband. Pray for him. Pray for Allah to give you a good idea so you can give it to him. We're going to have the secondary show. But I got to touch this real quick. Because I don't know when I'm going to touch it, if I'm going to touch it. You know what? I'll save it for a video. I save it. Because I want to talk about Yada and that foolishness there. Thank you, HVAC. So these women know what they're doing. They need to stop playing. They know they don't like these men. She got up here playing. Thank you, Brother Farrell. Said he should have moved faster like Mike Tyson. uh, I got to get on up out of here. I'm gonna touch Mr. Yada. That might have to be a video. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna touch him because there's some foolishness there as well. Because that wasn't the first time I heard that he was a little handsy, and I'm certain that that wasn't the first time his now ex heard that he was a little handsy. But y'all will go anywhere for a little dollar. Think you gonna change a man? He handsy. He like the he do a man that do this all the time. It don't matter what woman is in front of him. If he like to do that, he gonna do that. Who you is don't make no never mind. A man that like to do one of these, he like that. That's what he do. That's what he gonna do all the time. Jump down in the comment section. I'm gonna talk about it, but now I got a time constraint, right? I always do this. I'm gonna get enough of doing it, booba. My baby said talk about it. I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. I'm gonna give it the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna give it the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna do what my baby said. I'm gonna give it the next 10 minutes. Yada Awakening's wife, Divine Queen. Yada announces the split after nearly 8 years, alleges domestic violence, and shares disturbing texts.
I'm ashamed. I'm hurt. But I know I'll make it through. I've tried everything. Yada. Everything. I'm here getting the rest of my stuff. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm hurt.
The text messages. Just FYI, I have to find a way to get my mouth fixed fast. The night you hit me broke off the rest of my tooth, and I've been having severe pain since. If it gets infected, it will cause my breast milk to become infected. Mind you, she's only 8 weeks postpartum, so she had a baby 2 months ago. Go to Dr. Dave. That's the best bet at the best price. Now, the thing that I want to point out to that is he didn't say, I didn't do that. He didn't say that. He told her how to get it fixed. I need y'all to understand that this is a conversation between him and her. You were supposed to be there with me. You were supposed to always be my safe space. I hate that you did this to our family. Have a good day, Yada.
And if you were to never speak to Yada again, ever again, what would you tell him? What would be your last message?
That part's gonna make me cry. But I try everything, and in my heart, I love you. You will always be my best friend. But I have to choose myself, and I have to protect our babies. And I would much rather them have both parents alive than to one be in a hospital with something terminal or one of us not to be here. So I'm praying for you, though. That's what I would say.
And if you were to never...
After nearly 8 years, I have made the difficult decision to end my relationship with the father of my children and step into a new chapter of life. For years, I believed love meant fighting for your family. I gave my all to our home, children, businesses, and even protected his reputation. I kept believing that if we could make it through one more difficult season, peace would meet us on the other side. But at 8 weeks postpartum, looking at bruises on my face, I had to stop calling it a difficult season and tell myself the truth. It was DV. My 20s were filled with businesses, babies, and bruises. Building, giving, forgiving, leaving, returning, healing, hoping. I didn't leave because I stopped loving them. I left because I realized that if I continue to stay, eventually I will drown. The hardest part has been grieving a future that I imagined for our children. But one day they will understand I chose their safety and my peace over a love story. I learned that people can change and people can heal, but you don't have to lose yourself waiting for them to do it. I don't share this for sympathy or to tear anyone down. What happened is a part of my story, but it will never become my identity. And then blah, 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 into all this other stuff. He never denied it he didn't deny it in those texts. That was not the first time that I have heard whispers of that being his MO with exes and things of that nature. Okay. This why I say it's a red flag when men be coming up talking about some queen and this and that, because it don't be real. It don't come from a real place. It doesn't come from a realistic place. I give my wife $250,000. Boy, shut up. Don't nobody want to hear that. And here is my thing for her and women like her in these particular situations. When they get into a situation thinking that it is a fairy tale and a dream, the women that go for the dream, you know, nightmares happen when you sleep too. Nightmares are categorized as dreams as well. Nightmares are dreams. They just bad ones. Stop trying to get into a relationship that look too good to be true, because oftentimes it is. It ain't nothing free. Ain't no such thing as something for nothing. Ain't no such thing as a man just wants you around him and he gonna be doing this, that, and third, and just give you the whole world and he don't want you to do nothing but just sit there. That's a problem too. Even if he was to say, all I want you to do is just sit there and I'll do everything else, that's problematic. That's problematic. What you mean you just want me to sit here and not think, or sit here and not be? What does that mean? You don't want me to do nothing. Want me to do what exactly? What don't you want me to do? How are you looking for me to not participate? Any man that tell you he don't want you to participate in this relationship in any meaningful way and he got you, that's a problem. Y'all always looking for some kind of lifestyle. Y'all are always looking for some kind of fantasy, some kind of forever after and all of this foolishness that y'all look for. And then you ignore all the red flags that this person exhibit towards you because you are so wooed in with whatever kind of business, money, swag, whatever it is that he is presenting to you that's got you all discombobulated. You want to get into relationships where you don't got to do nothing. You want to get into relationships where all you got to do is sit there and be cute, maybe have your baby or two, and then everything is smooth sailing. Life is not smooth sailing. Nothing in life happens like that. There is nothing in life that's worth having that don't require you to give something in order to receive it. So when you get in front of somebody and they tell you you ain't got to give me nothing, but I'll give you the world, that is a lie. Because Allah will give us everything, but he want obedience and submission. That's what he wants. It's always you got to pay something to get something. You got to pay what you weigh around here. And y'all are too busy trying not to do it. Y'all are too busy thinking that the exes are always lying. You don't know nothing about the previous relationship except what he told you. You don't know nothing about that woman. You don't know nothing about what him and that woman have gone through. You got to be careful with somebody that all they exes was the problem. So you ain't the problem. Every ex was a horrible problem. So you ain't the problem. So you not the problem. You the common denominator, but you ain't the problem. Wrong answer. Something wrong. But this is what happens when you trying to get into these fantasy situations where he just gonna shower you with all these gifts and all you gotta do is sit there and be pretty. And girl, shut up. Because when you get into relationships as to where you ain't working as well in some kind of capacity in this relationship matching energies, that's a problem. That's a problem. You can't get into a relationship with a man and don't pull no weight because he's going to have one of two reactions to that. He's either going to feel underappreciated because you don't pull your weight in this relationship and he has to do everything. So then he's going to feel underappreciated about that and disrespected about that. He's going to be unhappy in this relationship because he's ended up doing everything and you don't really pull your weight there. So he's not going to like that relationship. Or the other thing that he gonna do is figure he own you because you don't do nothing in this relationship and he pulled all the weight. So he paid the cost to be the boss. And you don't know what being the boss mean to him. Thank you for keeping me up on the time. Always looking for an easy way. There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. Okay? Told you that in Rocky 3. Wasn't no easy way out. Thank you, HVAC says dudes like y'all don't need 5 minutes with him. I knew he's capped when he said he paid 50 M's. Y'all ladies better stop getting fooled, right? Oh, yeah, it was Rocky 4. I thought it was Rocky 3. That was Rocky 4. It might be Rocky 4. I be getting them mixed up. Anyway, I really do gotta go. My baby said go to the bathroom, Get you something to eat. Tune in to the next show in 10 minutes. All right? Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure. This was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.